Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Edward Yost. I'm an anesthesiologist and I'm up in New York. And I traveled from New York today to speak to you. And I think it's important that we understand that there's patients who are doctors like myself who also have Lyme disease. So I'd just like to read my testimony to you and ask you if you have any questions. And specifically I would like to say that if anyone on this board had Lyme disease and was treated for a small amount of time by a doctor with antibiotics and began to feel better, and then that care was withdrawn, what would you do as you descended back into the abyss of Lyme disease, as you began to feel horrible again? So I find that unconscionable that we can give people a short term of antibiotics and then withdraw that care when they're feeling better. So I just want to know, if you experienced that, what would you do? You'd start seeing every doctor you knew what to do to provide you with more antibiotics. So I'm going to read my testimony now. Good morning, my name is Dr. Edward Yost. I'm a board-certified anesthesiologist, a member of the American Society of Anesthesiologists, International Spine Intervention Society, and the American Headache Society. And I come to speak to the legislature today, not only as a physician, but representing those who, like me, suffer from Lyme disease. I received my Bachelor's of Science degree in chemistry from Long Island University in 1984. Shortly after I joined the United States Navy, I was a United States Navy pilot, carrier-based, and served with the Armed Forces for 7 years, receiving an honorable discharge in 1991. I was then hired by American Airlines and operated Boeing 727, 757, 767 aircraft as a co-pilot and traveled throughout the world. It was during this time that I attended Columbia University. I got my post-baccalaureate pre-med program there. And in 1994, I began my training at Stony Brook University Medical School in Stony Brook, New York. During my second year of medical school, I discovered a tick on my scalp, and approximately 3 to 4 weeks later, I became ill with flu-like symptoms, shortness of breath, and general malaise. As a physician in training, I knew something was wrong, and I began to speak to the physicians who were around me in medical school. They had really nothing to offer. And over the next 5 years, with the accessibility that my career in aviation afforded me, I traveled to the esteemed Cleveland Clinic and to lesser-known areas of Europe with an attempt to find me a remedy for this mysterious chronic illness that was rapidly causing me to become debilitated. In total, I saw over 35 doctors, including specialists in internal medicine, infectious disease, chronic fatigue, cardiologists, rheumatologists, and neurologists, and I'm a doctor. Every physician I met dismissed my thoughts of having contracted Lyme disease, including 2 members of the IDSA that wrote the protocol for 21 days of antibiotic treatment. I saw 2 of those members on that board that wrote that damn protocol. Every physician I met dismissed my thoughts of having contracted Lyme disease. Although I initially presented with a tick bite and was suffering from joint pain and muscle aches and fatigue, and I was trained in medicine, I still had no diagnosis or a physician who was willing to listen to my concerns. As the obscure manifestations of the illness persisted, I began my descent into failing health. My illness was becoming more noticeable. I was having neurological symptoms. At the urging of a fellow pilot, I was informed about a Lyme literate physician here in your Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. With waning hope, I consulted with this doctor who examined and diagnosed me with Lyme disease, and quite frankly, he saved my life, and that's why I'm here today. He called me and asked me to testify. So I drove from New York because this doctor in your state saved my life. After circumnavigating the globe, it was here in Pennsylvania that I found what I had so desperately needed, a physician who was trained in the diagnosis and treatment of tick-borne illnesses. and was sensitive to those illnesses and understood them and made the diagnosis. I went everywhere in the world looking for a doctor. I ran up hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical costs. After years of long-term treatment, including antibiotics and antimalarials, I was able to improve my health, graduated medical school, became board certified in my specialty, and had a deeper understanding of medicine while being a better physician to my patients. However, because of the delay in my getting the proper treatment, I am left with the lingering effects of chronic Lyme disease. I truly believe my colleagues dismissed me because they were not properly trained to acknowledge tick-borne illnesses and their manifestations, or they opted to challenge the research finding that there is a chronic form of